Yeah, you just have to respect the tradition, the nationality where you come from. I mean, Slacks did it when he came over. You honestly, it's just, you gotta respect him as well.
His shirt was a mess by the end of it. He was just getting more and more rough as the day went along.
That was a good day. That was funny. That was funny stuff. How is this matchup going to fare mid though with the Kunkka the Void Spirit? Is Void Spirit going to be okay just because of the Resonant Pulse, or is ChYuan still that Tidebringer going to be a new?
I think he's going to be okay, but again, you don't really have the strongest ganking supports. Like Undying straight up cannot do it. Rubick, sure, if you're on point, but you're up against a strength hero, so I don't think he's going to be putting more than 1 point into the Aether Remnant. It's just going to be about spamming out these lanes as quickly as possible to make sure you get your last hits, even if it's just drawing even against the Kunkka. I think you're pretty happy with that.
Some good old pulling shenanigans. Still can't believe this is a thing, but yeah, well, it's a nice little way for inYourdreaM to be able to get some CS, some experience is the big thing, and also denying it away for the Riki. Lun's doing a good job though. You know, he doesn't really need to be helping out the Riki, so it's just making sure inYourdreaM's not getting all this for free and trying to at least have some extra creeps coming out.
I like it. He has to be careful with this courier though. It does get delivered through to him. Dream is making a beeline for it, considering he's got those boots of speed. He should be able to secure it, actually.
Yeah, as long as he gets out of range of the Undying for that orb slow, and see Lun tries to run it back into him, just so maybe inYourdreaM takes a little bit of extra damage, but hey, you get the courier. So nice little bounty gold. Take that. You've
done your job. You know that the timings that Yangon are going for are a little bit more aggressive than yours, so I think that play that that Lun made that inYourdreaM made was really good, making sure to deny that full wave of experience away.
I'm intrigued. What do you think about Dreamocel going Orb of Venom first? Because I felt like Radiant couldn't really play as aggressively as I thought they were able to in this lane. So does he just have a different read where he thinks him and Polo can get pretty active, or?
Honestly, good question. I think you just want to be as survivable as possible in lane. I don't think you're going to find many opportunities to actually catch people out. You know, sure, it applies the Stifling Dagger. It does apply the Orb of Venom, so maybe that's going to assist Poloson with being able to catch out these wars, but that's all I can really think about.
Interesting.
Now, well, I said before, level 3 on the Beastmaster and the Rubick. That's going to be the point where you're feeling a little bit concerned for Polo. Yeah, here we go. Just bore out of range once. Nice deny by Zawrain to make sure that you're not getting that golden experience over to your side. But still, I think he's been doing a pretty good job. Like, if you have a look at the net worth, yes, it's only 3.5 minutes in, but he's sitting right at the top of that PA.
I mean, you saw Dreamocel have a pretty good time last game in the laning phase. Was very impressed, and he's already got the Orb of Corrosion completed, but Polo's just getting chased down, man. That extra point in the ball now can be so devastating. Even skill A's level 3, so Dreamocel does have to be careful. They actually want to chuck down Poloson instead. Poisons are starting to stack up.
Even nearly lucked out and got the Hawk that was just sitting right in front of him with those poison stacks. Nearly ticks down.
When with the heavy emphasis of putting pressure on right by that 4-minute mark, it made it so the Shadow Demon could not help out and try and secure the rune here for Kunkka. I mean, ChYuan doesn't have a bottle, but it's still taking away the arcane rune for Hor.
You just want to be able to spam out these abilities. He is maxing that Dissimulate again. It's just putting a lot of pressure onto the Kunkka. Yes, you're going to have the inherent tankiness from the 2 braces with the extra HP regen and the strength. You can see now he's forced to TP back to base, grabs his bottle. He's going to be right back to the lane. As well, those bounty runes are going to start to become a factor. Or he's not quite yet level 6, so he might be a little bit too slow to get to this this rune. I think Polo's going to deem it worthwhile to deny it out from him.
He's got the banishment, yeah, so should be easy. Might get caught out though, because he's now used that pretty aggressively, and with skill A coming over, they've even got the boar as well. But they just want to give that up, it looks like. Horde doesn't want to miss too many creeps here.
Oh, nice juke in here by Polo, using the nighttime to be able to get away. I don't think he needed to use the disruption.
Oh, surely he doesn't get this choreo. No way. Oh, he's actually a player.
Oh, Apollo
Does he
Dota.
get the damage? Oh my god.
Give him the chat wheel.
He's so good. That's when you... people just... I feel like sometimes the chat wheels aren't used at the right timing sometimes, and it makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah. That was a little bit more rough. You know, perhaps being a little greedy, Dreamocel takes some harass, but he's there. He TPs through, allows Dreamocel to blink strike back to him, refuels him up with a salve, and he's going to be just fine.
See, Dai did actually glyph up the creep wave here. I'm not sure if they wanted to try and, if it was for bottom, just so they could try and fully shove this in with the catapult wave, or if it was for another lane, but...
I think it was
like
for shoving it in, but also just to enable a little bit of a dive onto Dreamocel.
Yep.
They just wanted the creeps to be taking out a lot of that damage. But now you've got that level 3 on Polo, so it's going to be a lot easier for those Shadow Poisons to stack up and deal some pretty good damage to the Beastmaster units. Still though, as expected, even with this semi-way to counter it, there's some net worth advantage starting to show itself. This Beastmaster versus the PA.
And all eyes now on the mid lane heroes here. Hor has got that ultimate available, starting to make the rotation down bot, but even ChYuan now with the TP effect, he's got the haste and Zawrain's in trouble. Let's see if the Void Spirit's going to be able to get there in time to maybe turn this Beastmaster. Tinker do a little bit of it, but First Blood's going to get picked up, and now Skill Lay is falling incredibly low as well. Hor's going to try and at least get a return kill on top of the Phantom Assassin, even trying to chase down Poloson as well. He's got the Dissimulate up in a couple of seconds. It is level 4 too, so it's going to be an immense amount of damage, but the rotations from the position 2s works out in the favor here of Radiant.
Nicely done. Just a little bit too slow. I think as well, the Void Spirit, he ran underneath the outpost vision, so they knew he was coming. They knew to react accordingly, and if they were to make something happen, it had to be straight then and there, so they still had the numbers advantage. Even just the Kunkka trying to feed through a bottle charge to the PA as that kill was attempted, so Dreamocel actually nearly got away from that as well. AfTerRain.
Thinking about it.
Aggressively, yeah, here we go. inYourdreaM wants to go for the stun follow-up. Will that be enough?
Counter? Oh, wow. AfTerRain, he's so good on the Pangolier. This man knows the limits, could perfectly roll through. Saw that lucky shot proc as well, so he couldn't deny the tombstone. And now Lon, another lucky shot proc as well. The minus armor helping out even with that orb of corrosion. Finally get a rotation, but AfTerRain is still enabled to dive there. Man, he is...
You know, his luck is on point, but a lot of that is also, you know, some skill. Shows that hitting that level 6 so important against the Riki. Got that fade delay just to be able to dodge out, perhaps be a little bit more elusive. You can see here, Dreamocel is over a level ahead of this Riki, so despite the fact that, as I was saying, the Riki can come online sooner than the PA, we're not going to be the case this time around. AfTerRain has to be careful though.
Might be in trouble. Getting chased down. Hor, nice placement on the Remnant there, but still the positioning inYourdreaM. The supports from ZeroTwo having an incredible early game. Polo and the Nyx Assassin having some impact here, and we actually even see the nice little dig up with the bounty there. So nice when you got a bottle, but might go back in once again. It's Hor.
Lovely. AfTerRain's a little low here,
Guess
but
correct,
he's
really.
under.
Might be able to play around with the cliff as well with the bounce back. The issue is that the Void Spirit is still very mobile. They dropped the ward just so they can find the Rubick in the tree line. Now with the extra rotation, just in case Hor tries to commit aggressively here, AfTerRain forces to simulate, but a nice two-man torrent. ChYuan has got the boat flying in as well. Now Hor's in trouble. If he jukes up to the northern side with the ultimate, there's going to be a TP ready and waiting. Actually wants to go aggressively on top of the Nyx Assassin. Looks like he's well and truly sure that he's dead. Just wants to make sure he potentially gets a kill before he falls. And
not the case though, and just ends up feeding the kill through to Dreamocel. So ZeroTwo's like, all right, we'll take it.
Radiant's bottom tower.
10-minute mark as well. These bounties starting to show themselves. ChYuan gets the, he even gets the torrent onto the Riki, forces the tricks of the trade. They're playing pretty damn well today, ZeroTwo. This is night and day compared to as we transition from night to day to the first few series that we saw from them.
Dire's top tower.
Now, as we hit that 10-minute mark and starting to get out of the laning stage here, who do we feel like has the better late game heading into this one?
I mean, you're always going to favor a PA heading into the late game, right? And Kunkka, you've got that scalability with the Tiebringer because of the cleave damage. You've got the scalability with the Soul Catcher because it's, you know, based off of percentage for current health. Beastmaster, yes, you always do have that split push potential, and the BKB piercing stun is nice, but it's the early game that you want to make stuff happen. And if you're going to die, inYourdreaM is attempting to make happen to them, it's going to be a lot harder.
Sets up for ChYuan. Lun, drop with the Tombstone though. They do also have the Rubick coming over, but he's a little bit too far away with reinforcements. They'll deal with the Tombstone, and they'll turn their attention down with Beastmaster. Poloson's also level 6 as well, so pops out the Purge, but even Riki wants to get involved, so Dire now bringing the numbers, and even still in the boat as well from skill 8. Doesn't find the connection, but at least they get the run buff now to be able to utilize for this long drawn out engagement. But one more team fight's going to break out here as AfTerRain now with the Rolling Thunder moves in, bounces back from the Crystal. Young PH dragged back. I mean, he's still got the tricks to trade and the blink. Skill 8 needs to get in range here. Maybe he can go towards the western side, but the swashbuckle from AfTerRain finds a triple haul. So he wants to get a little bit of revenge here. Astral Step going to have to be used defensively to dip out.
Man, AfTerRain, he is playing out of his mind. 5-1-1, creating a ton of space, giving more kills over to the rest of his team, and getting the kills himself when it counts. And even then, like you saw, they were able to steal the boat from that fight. Didn't hit onto anyone, but like you mentioned, the rum does come up. And by seeing that, puts the extra point into the shield craft. You just want 1 point in the shield crash so that you're not able to turn around with it in the middle of that team fight. So again, great presence of mind for AfTerRain. He is playing an amazing game.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is definitely one of his strongest heroes, and we've constantly seen that so far throughout ZeroTwo's games through the LoL division. And it did get respect banned in that game 1. It was kind of towards the later stage of the draft though, but at least still showing that Yangon were recognizing this. But ZeroTwo, they're like, all right, you know, we've first picked it multiple times, we've gone in with it in the opening phase, why not do it again? And man, he's showing why this is a hero you have to be worried about when he picks it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This is some aggressive Dota, that's for sure. They're positioning themselves around the tier 1 tower, Yangon Galacticos, and realize the fact that, look, we've got this Beastmaster, no Necrobook just yet, but we'll have the gold for the Necrobook 1 and 5 gold.
Hog? Is that yours timing? No, ChYuan should be fine there. They actually want to counter up. Rolling Thunder's coming through. Does it get stolen? Looks like it doesn't. There's that shield crash paying off here for AfTerRain. Just utilizing the full ultimate now to be able to burst down the Rubick. But not going to connect. But once again, they're going to be able to utilize the run buff. AfTerRain's in trouble because the rest of the team trying to deal with the Tombstone, but he still has his swashbuckle.
Back on the low ground.
Disengaged. Now look at the mobility coming out. Almost escapes. Lun's going to get dragged back, but it looks like Dire still pretty content with being able to push on for more. And they've got the vision, so inYourdreaM's got to be careful about hiding in the tree line.
Wasn't able to pop the demonic purge, which I thought was a little surprising there from Polo, but forces the buyback out of the Rubick. You got to kill at the cost of a couple on your side, but PA, he was able to take the top tier 1 tower. He's continuing to farm away. You're fine with this level of space that you've been able to make, because I believe that that's the Battle Fury finished up now, if my maths is right.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There we go.
Oh.
Very nice time with the Battle Fury. What do they got stack wise? So double at the hard, double at the ancients, looking like about it here for Dreamocel. I do like at least Yangon constantly trying to scout this one out with the Hawk, but it's a bit too late as Dreamocel's already taking it.
Of course, like most of the time you would think, well, Orb of Corrosion on a couple of heroes, isn't that kind of a waste? But both of them just make such great use out of it that you don't mind all that much. And in a team fight, with the Orb of Corrosion plus a Desolator, which you would think is the next thing that PA is going to go for, you're probably going to pop someone without the Pango doing any initial burst damage.
Dire's smoking up, but they're going to be careful. Radiant, they're going to mirror this as well. But Poloson on the front line gets the banishment off, but he's way too far from the rest of the team. AfTerRain still moving on forward. Roller's going to hold him in place, so not getting the full usage out of this Rolling Thunder from AfTerRain, but it doesn't matter as Radiant, they bring down the Rubick. Beastmaster's well controlled thanks to the boat. Continue on, ChYuan also freshly picked up that Orchid, but looks like they just don't have the numbers now. AfTerRain up on the high ground, but he's still going to continue to get chased as Hall has his number throughout that fight. Lun Won't have a stun to cancel that TP there, so bit of a wonky one as the Pango falls. The Rubick also drops as well.
It's still creating
Was
so
there a buyback?
much space
There was.
though with this Pango, right? Like Polo out of position, he forces the buyback out, which is a little unfortunate. That could just sometimes happen if you move your cam away for half a second. Meant that they were able to get that initial burst damage onto it before the disruption.
Man, he's a big boy trying to drop a ward deep inside the territory of Radiant, but unfortunately the positioning there from ZeroTwo, just the perfect timing, honestly. Inside that tree line, they also are able to de-ward it.
But you see the difference there with actually a smoke coming through from Yangon Galacticos and they're not revealing it by just like shoving a Fave Bolt into the middle of the lane when they've got complete vision around the area. Or perhaps he was eventually far enough away from the sentry ward that he's going to be able to walk on away. And he's going into that that accept. So I think once he picks that up, the way that Yangon are going to play is going to change slightly. They're going to be going for a few more of these smoke plays, but they're actually going to try for the full wraparound. They're not just going to walk up onto the stairs like they were attempting that time.
Man, inYourdreaM, constant next threat of just scouting out, and I like now that they've got the blink completed on the Pangolier. They were kind of, we saw what Pango was able to do through fights to be able to start. Now it's going to get enabled even more with this blink dagger, considering they were kind of lacking some extra way. As the game goes on, it's just going to get that much more easier. Like Dreamocel, if he's got a bash, then you can get a lucky bash from a dagger. You've always got the Nyx to scout out if it's not in a choke point to find a setup, and not Kunkka as well. They are going to get to a stage here where ZeroTwo will have double BKBs on their cores and might limit a little bit of the damage that the Void Spirit and the Rubick can kind of dish out.
The thing I love about, well, AfTerRain's Pango, but just Pango in general, is that he's one of those heroes that can do so much with very little, you know? Just having a Javelin, just having an Orb of Corrosion, you can fulfill so many roles, shoving out waves, kill potential, you know, helping to slow people down for the rest of your team in combination with the Lucky Shot. And now that he's got the Blink Dagger, he's just adding more and more strings to his bow. You can see he's just gone for that full team fight right now. The Yule Scepter's being built up next. But once that's done, I want to see him go probably like a roll-up, and if it does get that late, I want to see a Basher come out from him into an Abyssal Blade. Just enables that scalability.
Well, he's going to be careful here. AfTerRain might reveal the blink. Hasn't been able to find the proper opening just yet. And now ChYuan, maybe he's pushed up a bit too far. He's going to drop the bow more defensively. Polo has the banishment as well, but they stole the bow. Your Scepter actually cancels out the effect. Now AfTerRain wants to try and counter initiate, but they're all going to hold him in place instantly, and ChYuan's in trouble. They use the banishment, but to no success here. So now AfTerRain, he's going to have to disengage as well, but Horse still continuing to chase him down. inYourdreaM, nice positioning, gives him some space. Yangon Galacticos, they've got the vision advantage to be able to continue hunting with the Pangolier. Maybe he gets a swashbuckle away, but they're able to burst him down. Skill A finds a double there for Yangon.
I'm liking that from Lon as well. Just no hesitation with popping his Flesh Golem, wanting to get that. Did you see how long that Kunkka lived? And that was for most of the time just due to himself. There was a disruption, sure, but it didn't actually result in him living too much. I think that was, you know, once he'd already used all of his defensive capabilities, that's when that started to come into the equation. But Flesh Golem, extra damage, always going to be helpful, and they've found out Polo.
This is just the vision advantage we're starting to see. It can really snowball out of control when you've got a Beastmaster like that, just going from one to another. Riki will be able to get to a stage where he can pick off some of the supports unless they get some positioning items. And well, now they've got the Aegis, a perfect movement from Yangon, taking that team fight, walking in Roche, getting the Aegis onto the Riki, and a pick off to it. And now Riki, he's already got two components almost completed here. He's got enough gold at least for the second.
For me, this is a farming Aegis. You need to be able to just easily secure your Aghanim Scepter, and then if you've got, you know, if you're lucky by playing a little bit more aggressive with your farming, if you're able to take a team fight, like just one single team fight all in, once you've got that secondary life available, that's a huge win. Even just his positioning right now. Just sitting inside the Radiant Tri-Camp area, making sure that he's able to take that away from them. Meanwhile though, ChYuan is just like, alright, you wanna take my ancients? Do the same to you.
How close to double BKB are they? So it looks like PA just completed Deso. So they do have a bit of a window with this Aegis, knowing that without a BKB on the Phantom Assassin, you can't heavily commit in team fights, and you've got to be always aware of this. And even once it gets picked up, I mean, at least you have the roar. The only issue is that Beastmaster, like, who do you want to roar this game? You've got so many options, like the Rolling Thunder from the Pango, and then the magic immunity from the PA, even once Kunkka gets it picked up as well.
They're just keeping these lanes pushed in so that it's incredibly obvious whenever they're trying to make any kind of backstep happen.
I want them to fight here. You got a ward on the tombstone on the high ground, but they're not grouped up as 5 right now. The Void Spirit's not there, so the Undying just gets melted. But young PH wants to counter up with the perfect timing with the Meteor Hammer. inYourdreaM's going to be able to scurry away. And I stole an impale from Skill Lake, holds ChYuan in place, but the Kunkka's incredibly tanky. Meanwhile, to the northeast side, though, Dreamocel and AfTerRain assassinates the Beastmasters, who won't be able to get involved in the fight, but still ChYuan getting kited on the high ground. That tombstone, such a nuisance, and that's why I wanted Yangon to group up like that. They just didn't have the Void Spirit to start, and they weren't all around that choke point. You saw if they were there, that fight could have gone much more differently. Yeah,
I think they still got you know, a relatively okay trade out of that, being able to take down the Kunkka one more time. Now the Riki's got his Ag Scepter, so and how long is left on the Aegis? 2.5 minutes. You're more than happy with that. Does that mean, you know, the Kunkka still doesn't have BKB? Same thing with the PA. And honestly, with the Riki, once you've got those items, you don't care all that much. It just means that as soon as it's scouted out by Yangon, Void Spirit needs to change his target priority. He needs to be going in onto the backlines even more so than before. You're just not going to have that same burst potential for the PA, the Kunkka.
Man, it's so stupid Rubick against Nyx. The 8th lens, he's even got a keen optic. Once you get that 15 talent, the extra cast range, like this Impale is just nuts. And especially, you've got a nice setup with the telekinesis. So, and then I love when I see, you already highlighted that if Skill 8 doesn't get the Earth Spirit, a lot of time they pick up the Rubick instantly. And it's just into a Nyx. It's one of the best abilities to steal.
Cell maybe? Big rotations.
Zawrain. He's in trouble. He doesn't have the BKB, and inYourdreaM needs to kind of run away so he can get the Phantom Track to disengage with the double silence from Hall. And inYourdreaM might be able to get the TP out, and he will be successful, but
gives him a
that's a massive pickoff. It does leave the Undying solo once again around the high ground, so it looks like finally ZeroTwo will be able to get that ward and the tombstone. They got to do it faster because Dire coming. And it's just Polo hitting it, guys. You gotta hit it, because young PH is like, all right, free food. Hello there, Shadow Demon. Bye-bye. And now ChYuan as well is in trouble. Walking it up now with the AfTerRain counter initiation. They've even got inYourdreaM in the area, but they stole the Rubik's Cube movement on forward. So the quick movement from Yangon punishing them from trying to find that ward on the high ground.
This is what I like. I love them playing around their timing so aggressively, realizing, look, BKB is not going to be a factor in. Yeah, for once, a small mistake made by the Pango, not immediately using the shield crash. Go. 30 seconds left on that Aegis timer as well. What have we got on the Riki? He's got a Chrysalis finished up as well. Don't think it'll be delivered to him before this fight, though. I mean, it'll just be an item slot freed up. So I think he might just be going all in onto taking this tower. He's like, look, give me your creeps, Beastmaster, but beyond that, I don't want you to commit. If I die, I die. And there we go. It's about to expire in a couple of seconds. They got what they want. Straight back to farming the camps. Nice little heal as well.
Why do you think that Radiant have been playing around this top side of the map instead of bottom? Because usually you see that tier 2 bot is mainly the first tier 2 tower to fall if you're playing on Dire. Is it they just want to try and control the triangle and take the Ancients away from the Phantom Assassin?
I think there's that. You know, there's also, you're in such a riskier position if you're forced to farm on the Dire side of the map, right? You don't have the teleportation to be able to assist you if they do end up ganking you, like what happened before. No? Sure. And on the bottom side of the map, like, worst case is you get a tier 2 top. Like, a tier 2 is a tier 2 at the end of the day. So now they're going to, if they want to, be able to take that outpost away as long as doing. And, I mean, you're not really caring all that much about Roche, but the fact that you've been able to take it away means that for the next Roshan, it's one less tower that you have to be able to TP towards.
Precious bounty.
Undying is sick of being focused. He is going for the blade mail on the Undying.
He's trying to juke throughout the tree line. Unfortunately, the Nick Assassin, well, at least he's making him work for it, but he'll end up falling. I guess another thing as well is that, like, if you hold that top side, it's a lot easier because of the stairs running up straight away. Like, it's in a very tight-knit choke point section, and Yangon, if they get, you know, dropped there with the tombstone, then Radiant fighting into that could be a lot more awkward instead of down bot.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And that was an incredible Aegis though from Yangon. You see, it's enabled them to grow a 4,000 net worth lead. We see Riki's top of the net worth as well. What's going on mid? Skill lane? It's Rubick's cube. So funny.
Easy TP. Always going to be the case pre-Abyssal Blade that you can just, you know, use that to TP away.
I love this smoke. They know the Rubick more than likely TP'd back to base.
Yeah, very good.
But Dire, look at the positioning. Drop the ward, put the tombstone on the high ground as well. Instant in the backline. Polo gets melted. That's a perfect target to be able to bring down. And then with the BKB control, Phantom Assassin's already wasted good duration of the magic immunity, but the drag back Riki, he's going to end up falling as well. So even though Phantom Assassin gets controlled, they're still able to find the Riki there. That's a great fight from ZeroTwo.
Yeah, and there's the kill streak as well. Like you mentioned, perfect decision to make it. When Rubick has to get completely away from the fight, you've been playing at a disadvantage all this time. You've got to take your chances and play the 5v4.
Man, Riki just got melted.
Yeah.
Let's go. He's got blink down completely. Okay, we're seeing the blink a lot on the Riki. It's really nice with this trick. So I've been very, very impressed with the item build when it goes for it.
You're just so elusive, and you know, you're not really caring all that much about building a blink dagger for, a BKB for yourself, considering what you're up against. It's basically just the Nyx Assassin that you're having to worry about with a BKB. Useless against the Kunkka, essentially. Useless against the PA. Pretty useless against the Shadow Demon, considering the Demonic Purge pierces the spell immunity.
Dire hanging around mid at the moment. At least they got this T1 tower. Nice TP rotation for a potential fight around Roshan, but it looks like Core. Just try and jump in there. They know that Roche is up, but also inYourdreaM scouting out, so both teams well aware of this. Next fight's going to break out around the vicinity, but who can drop the vision? That's the important question. I mean, at least Zawrain's always got this Hawk factor too.
Okay, so they might actually be forced to go into the BKBs a bit sooner than they might like on Yangon's side, because Kunkka's got an Orchid. So being able to use that to lock down one of these targets, you have no defensive dispels, no Lotus Orb picked up just yet. I think I saw a Lincoln's being attempted by the Void Spirit. Yeah, it was. So he's already got the Ultimate Orb component for it, but maybe he might switch that up to a Lotus.
Nyx. They're trying to bring him down to start the fight. They will be successful AfTerRain. Rolling Thunder just a little bit too late here. And now with the Tombstone dropped, gonna make it very difficult for Radiant to continue chasing them in. So posturing around their higher ground, they've got a nice ward in the area. Polo jumping in forward, but now with the counter initiative from Hall once again on top of the backline. But however, they got the Orchid out. Now he's got to be careful. They're going to counter up as well. Riki finds Dreamocel protected with the tricks of the trade. Dreamocel has to pop the BKB going off to the western side. So shutting him. He's in trouble. The drag back makes the X. Dreamocel close the distance. So they at least find the Void Spirit there. A couple of buybacks coming through. The Undying will rejoin this. So will the Nyx Assassin from inYourdreaM. But Roshan's still the hotly contested one here.
I think they're in a similar situation right now, ZeroTwo. They know that the Void Spirit's dead. Yes, you had to use a good amount of ultimates to be able to make that team fight happen, but I feel like Roshan is the way to go for them. You know, Shadow Demon's going to be alive in 5 seconds. You'll have the Demonic Purge back up in 20 seconds. Same thing with the boat. Same thing with the Rolling Thunder. You've got about a 20-second window to either get a pick off or make a contest around this Roche pit. The fact that they're not means that it might just be given away to Yangon's side. Like, Dreamocel is farming down the bot side. Sure, he's got a TP, but I don't know about this.
There's no Void Spirit right now, and you don't really want to buy back on him. They also dropped the Tombstone, so bit of a commitment there from Dire.
I don't think they're aware of the Tombstone being used, though, on ZeroTwo's side. Maybe if they walk on in, they'll appreciate it.
I see it now. Yeah.
I'm feeling a lot more confident about that.
Radiant are scanning.
It's got
Dream.
the extra movement speed now on inYourdreaM with the Aghanim Shard picked up.
So such a stupid shard.
Look at him zooming.
572. What the hell? We see the Phantom Assassin as well has almost got this Abyssal Blade completed. Also level 23, so the highest in the game right now. We saw what Dreamocel could do last game once you get that 25 with the triple Stifling Dagger. So many crits, so many bashes. Could be a big issue here for Yangon if he the massive skirmishes heading in where the all-important ones can just increase the hype factor. And well, guess what? We got a Void Spirit now with the Linkens as well, so Horde's going to be able to play a lot more aggressive, at least limits the you know, Phantom Assassin Abyssal Blade control eventually. A couple other minor ways to deal with the Void Spirit through these fights.
There's this Roshan though, that's the pot of gold right in his little pit there that both teams want. This time around, it won't be a farming Aegis that they use. It'll be used to start pushing high ground if they can, and they're going for a bit of a wrap around here on Yangon's side, trying to catch the backlines like I was mentioning before, but ChYuan is
here.
front.
They're going to be so careful. Nice shot from Paul, finds a Shadow Demon, so they don't have the banishment to be able to protect the Kunkka, so he has to pop the BKB defensively here just to keep his first life on the initiation. Been able to buy back. They're wrapping through as well. They haven't been able to find any more heroes here from Yangon, so they've got to be careful with the Meteor Hammer as well, controlling up both. Dreamocel stuck in the Trick's Raid. He's able to get the Blink Wave, but still the Tombstone, the zombies starting to stack up. You've got to be careful how long this fight starts to break up with the crit. Dreamocel, oh my god, the RNG's in his favor, but they're back in once again. The buyback Riki, Beastmaster wants to rejoin them, but ZeroTwo, you need to disengage. You can't go back up the high ground for Dreamocel. He says screw that. He wants to go up and fight them here. Dreamocel's got to be careful though. Phantom Strike, where can you jump to? The Tombstone still laying down, but they see the DD. Looks like Dire, time to back up. That buyback on Riki, you have to play for the objectives now. You need Roshan.
He's given the bottle over to young PH. He wants him to pick it up. Now that, plus the enchanted quiver that you have, it is so much damage that you're able to deal out in quick succession, and you know that you're not going to have this Shadow Demon for it either. He just bought back.
Oh, they need to turn the aggro from Roche. Radiant are coming over, but they don't have the ultimates. That's the big issue. ChYuan's going to scout it. Su's got the BKB on the Kunkka. Rolling Thunder's back up as well from the Pango.
They're in.
Support's going to be up in 20 seconds, but they are delaying this. Young PH, the DD, about a third duration left as well. Man, they need to get this on Dire.
Options. Yeah.
Maybe, do they have a smoke?
It's going to be too late now regardless. You've got everyone back up. Here come the big ultimates again.
Here we go, the counter. Boat flies through. Riki's going to be careful because now inside the roof they're going to chain link him down. Young PH at the dieback. No, Dreamocel off to the side as well. Finds Beastmaster. Both these heroes with no buyback. ZeroTwo taking an incredible fight around the Roche pit. Yangon just give them an opportunity for their abilities to come back off cooldown. A big mistake there is going to have to force them to give up this second Roshan.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. It just feels like what they did was enable the skill lane coming in.
Alright, let's see. What can the Rubick do with the Rubik's Cube?
He's
trying to shot it.
Oh, the
bash! No! Roshan, the extra 6-man on the team from ZeroTwo is going to punish him here. Roche is pulling one for the Impale, and the perfect timing with the cleave as well. Dreamocel finds them both, the Ages along with the Cheers, and now Lon on the higher ground. Critted down, man. ZeroTwo, their team fight. Too strong around the Roche pit, and Hor gotta try and back off. Gotta be careful because they're still hunting. Maybe Dreamocel gets a bash or something, but that is just Yangon, the decision making almost. Maybe this is the inexperience showing from the young squad. But it gives ZeroTwo now a big opportunity.
I said there weren't too many questionable players coming through. That was one of them. You know, I just don't understand the logic of you're going up against this team, which one of their big strengths is, yes, they've got ultimates with, you know, decent cooldowns, but they're much lower cooldowns than a lot of your others. Like only 70 seconds on the Rolling Thunder, 60 seconds on the boat. I felt like they just had to take their chance now.
Oh, perfect timing. Oh my god. ZeroTwo. These past couple of minutes, 8 missing nothing here. Polly with the setup, ChYuan with the follow-up.
Did they just
Dire
throw this?
I mean, they can push incredibly fast. Dreamocel 25 as well. They still have some tier 2 towers. The issue is that top and bot aren't pushed in.
they'll be happy enough to pick up the bounties, I suppose. But yeah, ZeroTwo have been very good at playing their advantage whenever it's happened to them. You know, 5v4 smokes, immediately realizing when, you know, you've got a numbers advantage, but that time Yangon just that 10-15 seconds of hesitation when you've got a double damage on your Riki, it's a little questionable.
Yeah. Well, Horde's still down for another 35.
I think they're only lacking their Beastmaster, right? I think that team fight was very different if they just had the Call of the Wild Hawk for the high ground vision, but lacking a bit for them, and well, they paid the price. I mean, this was looking dead even for the first 32 or so minutes of the game, even though Dota Plus was still favoring ZeroTwo a little bit more, but with that take, with that dieback, it is now a 97% win probability.
Nice put Dreamocel in the front. Lotus Orb protection. Polo ready to counter up with any initiation. You've always got the saving factor, and I mean, Dai can't get too close because then you got Dreamocel. He's just going to jump you instantly. Skill late X'd up. I mean, he just might get bursted here if Dreamocel really wants to. At least they're all alive from Yangon, but the buyback is the big thing they're lacking. They'll be able to get the melee, transition that into range as well. So full set of racks. Still a tier 2 up top. Dreamocel actually jumping in forward. Can they punish him though? Lotus Orb.
He's got so much survivability though. He's even going into the Rapier next. Why not, right? I don't think he'll have it picked up by the next 2 minutes though, so... Do you want to go that all in, is the question? The only ones with buyback right now, I suppose, on Yangon's side are the supports.
I mean, Radiant can still stay around the area, but they got the high ground ward. Like, you got to be so careful running out. What do we got with the neutral item? Strix's Cloak. It's first of many to be picked up here. And it's now Dai. I mean, you see young PH is trying to get out the base to get a couple. He's even got the Rapier queued up as well for the Riki.
Alright, Nyx has his first Dagon delivered through.
Oh god.
I want to see him pick up like just a Windlace or something, right? Because the Ag Shard gives the percentage movement speed as opposed to flat, so it's even more effective. And I suppose he's fast enough. 580, that'll have to do.
Not often you say 580 will have to do. You want more speed.
Dude, I play like CM and Venomancer and these sorts of heroes. I know what no speed means.
That's a rough time when you're just moving around the map at like 320 constantly. What the hell do I do? I just can't get anywhere. Team, like, help me. Push me almost.
Oh, that's real nice. The telescope being picked up by Polo.
Shutted him in instantly.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I'd probably give the relic over to the Nyx, right? Like, you've had enough time with that Philosopher's Stone. I think you know, it's time to have something for the team fight. Good initial burst to be able to clear out most of that creep wave. Tower will take out the rest. Although he's trying to put his body up there, ChYuan, just to make sure the last...
Lon's got to be so careful. Yeah, they can just jump in. He doesn't have too much armor at the moment. At least the Remnant's protecting the Undying. Can he get anything off? He's got a buyback. A nice start here from ZeroTwo, and you see Dreamocel can instantly just pop back defensively.
They just...
Gauges. Ticked out. Oh, Riki.
Cheese in his inventory.
Gonna try and deal with the support. In and out he goes. See the constant mobility. Zawrain as well with the counter up. They're trying to find the Shadow Team, but where's the extra damage coming through right now with the Beastmaster? It's not there. Four tries to follow up. The Remnant, can he get the banishment off the nick of time? But meanwhile, Dreamocel's just going to work. 2 down from Yangon Galacticos. Where's the Riki? He's gonna get caught off to the western side here. They find him underneath that Observe Ward, and now without a buyback, Yangon Galacticos inside the base. Dreamocel finds a triple. It's all up to Hall. At least he gets the Shadow Demon, but the perfect spike curve as he runs into the Remnant. InYourdreaM's Nyx Assassin. Oh.
And the offensive GG as well. Oh, Polo, he was pretty happy with how they were able to turn around that game, but unfortunately for them, the Rapier isn't going to be able to be delivered before the throne pops, but they're perfectly fine with a comfortable 2-0 victory. ZeroTwo with a 2-0.